Goodbye. Good night.
Hello, all, and welcome to the WrestleCollective Weekly Podcast. I'm your host, Jordan Slickfair Carter, but of course, I'm never here alone. Always here with my collective compadres. Here with us, joining us across the pond today, we have the one, the only, Lucy. How are you doing today, Lucy?
I am doing great, thank you. A little bit tired after being up until after clock last night, but totally worth it.
Well, yeah, it was a pretty good show, pretty damn good show, if you ask me. Love the presentation, but that's definitely something we were going to get into later. But first, Hannibal, how are you doing on the other side of the pond?
And the other side of the country as well. I just want to show off my Star Wars t-shirt.
Oh, Starry Night, Chef's kiss.
A bit of art, a bit of Star Wars. What can you love? Look, I mean, I know we're going to talk about it, but man, Arena Mexico, it just feels like somewhere that I need to be at some point in my life. Like a pilgrimage is in order.
You know, it's funny. I was doing No Dirt. I saw Graps in the chat. Shout out to Big Graps. He wants to get the collective together and make a trip down to Mexico, and we all go to Arena Mexico. And you know what? I gotta say, I think that's something we should definitely do. I want to go. Again, it looks like an amazing arena. Great time. They do a kiss cam there for their like local CMLL shows, which is really cool. So I will actually I don't know. It just seems like a really cool place to be. Another cool place to be is kicking it with my homie Dev. How you doing, Dev?
Good. For every episode Advocate doesn't appear on, a piece of me gets restored. He's not coming back.
Oh, God. You are hilarious. Never change, Dev. Love you to death. We are also joined by, you saw his face on Monday along with Hannibal over here, and that's the one, the only Mr. WrestleFish, Ryan. How you doing today, man? Hello, and the cats look right on time.
Yep. We're doing great.
What's your cat's name?
Now I'm happy, and he is covered in fur. So I'm gonna go grab my lint roller real quick.
Happy doesn't
I'm
make
doing great.
you very happy. That's great. Good to see you. Good to hear from you. This is going to be.
And also, if you didn't notice what was on the back of his chair, it's a very spectacular, in my opinion, Octopus Hole design t-shirt that you can buy from shop.wc.com.
Yes, the greatest, one of the greatest websites of all time, personally, if you ask me. But yes, if you want wrestling merch that doesn't look like wrestling merch, if you want something that you can wear in the house, out the house, at a wrestling show, at dinner with your friends, well, maybe not a nice dinner, but a shirt that, again, doesn't look like a wrestling shirt.
Actually, the most extravagant dinners you wear
shopdubc.com. And one of the best ways to support us, if you want to support Hannibal, if you want to support Lucy, you want to support Deb, you want to support WrestleFish, then one of the best ways to do that is shopdubc.com. Go ahead, pick yourself up a shirt. I have it down the pipeline that we're going to be getting some critical hit wrestling.
This is also the front of the shirt.
Possibly on the way. Oh, maybe some Lucy exclusive merch, something centered around Brandon Cutler. I think we can workshop something like that. I think we could do that.
Well,
yeah.
If we're showing off shirts, then can I just have a minute to show one of my all-time favorites to this day? My Brandon Cutler, amazing.
I actually really do like that shirt and design. Yes, I actually really do. Yeah,
one win can change everything. And also one birthday video message. I don't know if you all saw this.
Yo, that was the coolest thing ever. I'm not gonna lie to you. That was like the coolest thing ever.
That was the
like,
baldest
very
thing
sweet.
ever.
It was amazing. In fact, you know what? I don't care how hot it is. This is going on for the day.
There you go. Yeah, the jacket. Actual ring-worn jacket, I want to say, too.
This one isn't. No, this one I bought. Would you believe, from bloody Walmart? That's where after months of trying to find where he got it custom made. No, Walmart. But I do have a jacket that he wore, a black suit jacket that he wore to get beat up by Darby Allin on Dynamite. Thanks to the amazing Alyssa, who bought it and brought it all the way to All In for me.
That is amazing. Well, we're going to be definitely talking some All In today, a little bit, of what the All In card will be looking like. But today, a lot on the docket today. Obviously, we're going to be talking, some of the fallout from SummerSlam. So for those of you who caught Raw this week, last night, as we were all raving about a great Grand Slam Mexico in Arena Mexico from AEW. We're going to be talking about that. And then, of course, if you did see SummerSlam, there was a bit of a controversial spot that had some of the IWC kind of, shook up a little bit, a bit of a sell, maybe a bit of a no sell. And so I said, you know what, let's bring it to the table. Let's talk about it. We are going to talk about what selling is in wrestling, to be, to not to be, to sell, to not to sell. It's going to be a good discussion, so please make sure you stay tuned for that later on. But before we get into that, before we get into some of the wrestling discussions, I wanted to just see how some of the collective was doing today. How are you guys doing today? You guys doing good? We were literally talking X-Men before we came onto the show. So you guys seen any good movies lately? You guys, how are you guys doing?
I've got this to show off.
Oh, a What If. Nice. Okay.
It's a What If graphic novel, and it's all stories of Disney characters as Marvel superheroes.
Hey, I actually really kind of like that. That's actually pretty fucking cool. I'm not gonna lie to you.
So they did some comic book covers for issues of Spider-Man like this.
Oh, yeah.
Some of them just replicating like classic comic book covers through time, but with Disney versions of the characters. It was quite funny. I'm wearing the hat. I did go and see Spider-Man twice since we last.
I'm seeing it again tomorrow.
It's
good movie.
It's good, man. It's a good movie.
Lucy, have you gotten a chance to see it?
Not yet. I am going next week. But while we're showing off graphic novel or whatever, can I make it all about me again?
Show and tell.
Yes, I hadn't mentioned it was my birthday recently.
It was.
And I got this beauty.
Oh.
1992 original WWF annual, because anyone who knows me knows I love vintage, older wrestling. And yet my amazing husband for my birthday got me a mint condition. They haven't even done the crossword. So
that's really cool. That's super dope.
I love it. Yeah,
that
my original Nintendo, everything. It's I love anything from that sort of era, especially wrestling related.
That is super dope. Well, for the three of us who've seen the movie, one of us who's kind of saw it, probably not in the best way, probably not the way he intended to see it.
Look, Dev saw it a freeway. That's
that's probably the best way.
It's a good way to see it.
How did you guys like Spider-Man? I really enjoyed the movie. I thought it was fantastic. I don't want to spoil anything. Go watch it. Go see it. I thought it was fantastic. Absolutely the best Spider-Man movie out of the series.
I couldn't agree more. I just watched the 3 films in the days leading up to seeing it last week, and walked out there thinking I've seen the best. For me, it's probably the best live action Spider-Man film I've seen. Like I loved it that much. I mean, I do go and see films from time to time more than once at the cinema, but you know, I saw it Thursday and I was back Saturday morning to watch it a second time. And if it does start showing in IMAX around my local, I'll probably see it again. So yeah,
Yeah, there's
as
a good
Spider-Man
chance I'll
fan,
see it in IMAX tomorrow. There's a very good chance I'll see it in IMAX.
I hold Spider-Man 2, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2 in such high regard. It was my favorite Spider-Man movie up until now. It has been very much, clearly dethroned. It's great to see the best version of Peter Parker and the best version of Spider-Man doing Spider-Man shit. Yeah.
he is very much.
The only spoiler that I will give you guys, and this is funny, I'm just gonna say this. Web stop. All right, anyways. That's been my new vocal stem. Like so when I showed you the video of me playing Spider-Man, I've been first off, Spider-Man 2 the game, oh my god, I forgot how bad that game was.
I'm
but
just
as
start playing it. I can't.
I realized I never beat it. I never finished it. I just like I was just done. I never finished it. I'm like 83% through the game. I was just like, yo, I couldn't get through the story. The story. That's a big tennis thing. But it was no. I was doing literally as I'm swinging in the game. I'm saying in my head, West stop. Great movie. So again, if you haven't seen Spider-Man, we're not paid, we're not sponsored. Hopefully, maybe Marvel, Sony, you know, we out here. Yeah.
I think
go
we'll be able to
see it.
get dude wipes, guys. Come on.
Oh yeah, we gotta get. I mean, if TNA can get dude wipes, we can get dude wipes, right?
We should be able to. Yeah.
So
dude wipes and Pikachu.
But go see it.
True number 2 promotion.
Oh, clip that. That was funny. But anywho,
no one shits on TNA like I do.
Get back into wrestling. We had the fallout from SummerSlam, from 2 nights of SummerSlam this past Monday. And first, did any of you guys catch Lucy? I already know. I'm not even going to ask you. But
I was ready to pretend. I've seen
we are authentic here, you know. What did you guys think of SummerSlam, though, 2 nights? I thought it was quick. I thought they were solid, but I thought it was very quick.
I wouldn't say I think it was solid. It was quite quick because, I mean, what was it, about just over 3 hours each night? And it started early as well, so it finished at a semi-reasonable time for the UK. I think it finished at 2 a.m., which, you know, normally went to hour 2 of a regular pay-per-view. But I found it to be quite lackluster, in all honesty. There were some matches that were fairly decent. You know, some would have been better if they had more time, but what we got was fairly decent. But there was also a lot of crap on there. The Danhausen match was just a complete joke, and B-. Yeah, I mean, look, I appreciate. Well, it's the weird thing about Danhausen, right? Because I appreciate that it's a gimmick, really, that they're trying to aim at kids. It's a kid-friendly kind of gimmick, right? And it will sell merchandise, which is great. But I'm seeing more and more people, older people, that are just done with the whole Danhausen thing. It's too much. So I think they've got to be very careful what they do going forward, because at some point, it could start to bleed in. And I don't think they want that. I think it's a cash cow, and they want to keep it chugging along as long as they can, but don't go to the well too many times. But yeah, overall, I think it was probably better than Mania. But Mania this year was pretty pants, so it's not exactly a a glowing recommendation. But yeah, it was fine. It was fine.
So Fish, you said B minus.
Yeah. It was a very passable wrestling show overall. I did not see like the first two matches of the night too, but I know that Kevin Owens' return was kicked off night two. So we have seen that in post, obviously. But I thought the show was perfectly passable to the WWE standard. It is what it is. Not everything's going to be perfect every time. The main event of night one, Brock and Oba. You know, last time you'll see Brock Lesnar in a wrestling ring, apparently.
Well,
He
announced...
claims he's retired, but you know how wrestling retirements are.
I mean, we talked about
Sure.
it on No Dirt. You know, if money talks, bullshit walks. So if the Saudi, trustee group, whatever they're calling themselves, throws a big bag at Brock, who's to say he won't take it? You know, a Hall of Fame induction in one last match doesn't sound too bad for me. You know, and I could see him getting inducted in, Saudi because, like Andrew said, shout out to Andrew, they won't probably boo him, you know? So it definitely makes sense, you know?
But you know what?
Yeah.
It's quite funny, just before you do that, because you mentioned about Brock not being booed. Like, it was in his hometown, or his home state, right?
Yeah.
I thought the reaction to him was really, really muted. Like, if you think about how loud the pop was, deservedly so, when Kevin Owens came out. But when Brock came out,
hell, when Oba was out, you know.
Sure, yeah, but again, like you normally do stuff like that because if you've got somebody in their hometown, you have that hometown support, and it just didn't feel like it was there for Brock. Like I think the reactions to him in general have been getting lower. Some of that is because of the stuff with the lawsuit, others because just bored of seeing him because he's been doing the same act for like the last 10 years. So I was still surprised that it was such a muted reaction in Minnesota.
Deb, we've got a Queens Road episode coming up on the 9th, so this Sunday. So definitely check out Queens Road. It's our the WrestleCollective's podcast dedicated to all things women's wrestling. So, and we saw some title changes here. We saw some movements in the women's division on SummerSlam. So, what did you think about SummerSlam? Our Queens Road host, Deb, or add the Dev, or replace? I don't. You an advocate? You've replaced them so many times. You're starting to like merge together.
For the sake of Queens Road, the woman carried that night one. And I would say Liv EO was probably like the second best match on the card next to Gable and Penta.
I would agree to that in by saying
and I would say this was like the third best WWE event of the year.
Of the year?
Yeah.
What are your other two?
The other two, do we count AAA? With
Yeah,
the one
absolutely.
the one that closed with the Grande, and I think Clash. I would put Clash of Paris over SummerSlam.
I think that is crazy because Mania, the big show of the year, not on there. You know,
No.
Royal Rumble, the big show of the year, not on there. Like, I think that has a lot to say about, you know, the quality of product. But let's move on to Raw. I thought Raw, so in comparison, and I hate to do this, you know, but when AEW gets off a pay-per-view, is it just me, or that next Dynamite always hits? It's always a good one. WWE, when we're coming off of a pay-per-view, that following Monday Night Raw feels very flat. Like, the Raw this past week felt very flat. Like, and I know Graps is going to kill me for this, but like, I'm not interested in LA Knight Roman Reigns. I'm just not. You know, I thought it was a bad idea on Roman's part
Say that
to
again.
do up. I didn't. I'm not interested, brother. I'm not. I'm just.
You know what? That makes fun of you, and that's cool.
I didn't. Now let me be honest. I think LA Knight is right to step up. But I didn't. I think Roman does a bad job. Roman did a bad job here. If we are going to, and I meant to say this on No Dirt, and I'm so mad that I didn't. But if we're going to get upset and tiffy about MJF and his comments about the main event, a lackluster main event, whatever, I'm paraphrasing. Dog, you literally shit on LA Knight when you pull out $100,000 watch. That was an Audemars AP. Like that's a very expensive watch he had on that he's flexed, right? Like, come on. Like when you start doing that and then because it's no different than the Twitter interaction from years ago between Seth and Will. Oh, look at our bank accounts. It's no different. And you're doing that to your own talent. And I feel like it made LA Knight in a moment where, I'm sorry, when he did the shit sucked. Like, I thought that was hilarious. All right. I thought that was a really, really good bit by him. But when you're sitting there talking about, man, you ain't worth my time. Look at my watch, bro. Like that was a bad move to me. So Hannibal, what did you see the promo? Tell me what you thought about the promo. Am I overreacting here?
The only thing I really want to push back on is suggesting that the Dynamite after a pay-per-view is really good. They are normally absolutely dog shit.
Really?
Last one was an exception.
But the last two that they've done were actually really good. It was like when they did one good one after a pay-per-view, I was like, let's see if they can manage to do this again. And then they did. So like, okay, fair play. Because the one after Dynasty was also not Dynasty, Redemption was also good. But yeah, generally speaking, they're not very good. But no, look, I think you're right. And I think the problem, and this isn't just a WWE issue, because I've seen it in AEW as well as TNA, but sometimes what they do is they do a really bad job of trying to make the opponent look like they should be in the conversation. And what I mean by that is that I feel with how Roman treated LA Knight in that segment, he little brothered him. Little bro.
He little broed him.
I don't think that is what you should be. You're trying to make people believe that there's a chance that he's worthy of this opportunity, all these kind of things, right? And if you're just getting yourself more over, then what are we really doing? And that, to me, is a problem that I've seen a lot of times. Roman is very guilty of it. And, I'm not going to say it's him per se, because I don't know what he's in charge of. I don't know what he's writing and what he's not writing. It could have been his idea, could have been an agent's idea, could have been a scriptwriter's idea. Who knows? Regardless, the end result's the same. You make your opponent look small fry, and therefore you're not going to care. Now, you're going to have people like Graps and people that, have been on the LA Knight train for years that are not going to let this phase them. But for the casual fan or the person that doesn't really follow LA Knight that much, you just made him look like an idiot. And
anybody who wanted to be a fan of LA Knight, why would they be now?
That's the problem, man. That's the problem.
Fish, what was your take on the promo?
Roman comes out doing the same shtick he's been doing for however long, right? I don't like burying LA Knight by burying his watch. You're attacking. He's pocket watching. He's watch watching. Like who actually goes out there to point out the man's watch? Who goes out there and looks at a man's shoes? That's all I'm saying. There's some, like, you could be attacking his ability as a wrestler. You could be attacking the fact that he's never beaten you, right? No, I just got more money than you. It doesn't work for me. But I'm sure someone out there this appealed to. I just don't think it's a good idea to bury, once again, one of your top promos, one of your top merchandise sellers. Not necessarily merchandise sellers, but you put him in a lot of ad sales, right?
He's
So
the new Macho Man. He's the new Macho Man. He's the Slim Jim guy.
Let's look. He's the new Slim Jim guy. Let's not do
that. Okay. Slim Jim is huge, my man. So not huge enough to be on the center of the ring anymore, but huge. Oh no. I'm sure someone liked it. I do think Roman will dispatch LA Knight pretty easily whenever we get to this match. And he's just a placeholder until we decide to pull the trigger on Oba Femi.
So, Lucy, I want to get your take on, because I know you didn't watch, right? But say essentially we a little bit. Let's say MJF comes out and instead of dressing down Will Ospreay, he talks about and says, "Hey, I've got the best suits. I've got more money. He not even Ospreay. Let's say Kevin Knight, someone who's up and coming, right? Someone who's on the cusp, right? And he dresses him down in a non-kayfabe way, right? Because tomorrow, LA Knight's not going to get an AP. He's not going to get a $100,000 watch. He's not, right? He's not. His salary isn't going to up to what Roman's is overnight, right? So you're making two inside baseball. You're making kayfabe jabs at things that, like, again, you can't change. Like Fish said it perfectly. You can talk about my in-ring. You can talk about the fact that I didn't beat you. Things that can change. Things that I do have the ability to work on. So I want to ask you, Lucy, you're an incredibly smart individual. How do you feel about when heels kind of do things like that? Are you okay with when they make their opponents feel that small?
I think MJF is maybe not the best example for me to work with, because if he did it, I wouldn't blink. I wouldn't bat an eyelid, because everything MJF does is kayfabe. He lives and breathes in kayfabe. So if he did it, then it's in kayfabe. But I think if everyone was okay with it, yeah, but with WWE, that's not how it works. They don't get asked, "Are you okay with it?" They get told, "This is what you're doing. Off you go and do it." So no, to me, it would be a little different depending on whether they'd worked it out together and the person getting talked down to had said, "Yeah, come at me," or if it was a case of, "This is what's happening, go and deal with it."
It's an interesting take. It's a very interesting take. Dev, how did you feel about the promo? Did it bother you, or is this just typical heel work?
It was typical heel work. LA Knight is fine. I think they buried him as much as they possibly could on Unreal, where he gets that visual of him sitting by the wall. Like, it's been memed.
Yeah. Incredible meme.
Yeah.
Though.
Like, that's his low point, and it'll never, like, Roman can't put him any lower than, like, how Triple H did, honestly, to me. And it was funny. I think the back and forth they had was funny. He did have, like, LA Knight has really funny fits. They fit him. They suit him, but his outfits are funny. Like Roman.
You're not a fan of the vest? You're not a fan of the vest and the cutoff sleeves?
I am.
But I think funny. What Dev means is that you're not going to see him walking down the street like that.
Mm-hmm.
Here's where you and I disagree. I feel like I would. I feel like I would.
I'm not putting past him. I'm not. To be fair, I can't.
LA Knight 100% seems like the type of guy that's like,
depends on the street.
Let's go out. I'll wear this. Like, he 100% seems like that guy, and like no hate on him. Hey, if you that's your style. That's your style. You know what I mean? But no, again, I didn't really like the pro. I thought it could have been done a little bit better. I feel like it dressed down LA Knight a little bit too much. But one thing in particular, too, before we move on from just another subject, excuse me, is that Roman Reigns will be showing up to AAA.
What it says, man.
They're running some sort of tournament or something like that to where the winner will face Roman. It's probably going to end up being Penta, if you ask me.
So if I understand it correctly, I mean, Roman might turn up to Triple R, but the match itself is going to be on the Raw after the pay-per-view.
Because it's in Mexico City, right? So I think he will still show up, because they're obviously they've got Punk on that show because they're getting ready to counter program, right? So they've got definitely Punk on that show. So I could definitely see Roman showing up ringside, maybe on commentary. Highly doubt he's on commentary. He don't like working that much. But it's interesting, that they got to pull out the big guns to try to compete. But Roman and AAA, are you got like does that make you any more interested in AAA?
Makes me less.
Less, really?
Yeah.
Expand
if you want. Because I'm a dad. Because no, like the honest answer is because, and this is kind of the problem that I feel that they've done a few times now, which is you start inserting WWE into that promotion,
and it doesn't feel like that promotion.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at what they did with TNA, where they were throwing like the NXT stars down there, I wouldn't say it felt completely organic, but it kind of made a bit more sense. Whilst with this, it feels very much like just dropping somebody in to get a reaction. Do you remember those NXT shows where they'd like say, appearing next week, The Undertaker? And you're like, well, what the fuck is The Undertaker doing in NXT? Like, and that's a WWE product, right? You've got to remember, Triple R is still Triple R. We all know it's owned by WWE, or majority owned by WWE, but officially it is its own thing, doing its own thing. Why is Roman Reigns going down there?
To chokeslam Trick Williams. Because that's what Undertaker did in NXT, to go down there and chokeslam Trick Williams.
Worked out so good. No, but that's why, like, to me, it's just another example of losing your identity. And look, there will be people that will turn around and point out to me that the reason for doing this is to, make it like feel like a big league. But to the AAA fans, it already is a big league. So who's it really? You're going to get a few hundred people possibly watch it on YouTube you didn't the week before because Roman's on it. Like,
well,
okay,
it's to sell tickets for their Mexico City Raw that you're going to be doing, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ultimately, so I don't know, guys. It seems like Roman Reigns is going to take out Mr. Iguana.
Oh no, not Mr. Iguana! Jay, you gotta move.
No, reality is, he's gotten way too popular with that particular crowd. That particular crowd being Tripla's audience, right? Kaiser Americano is going to be humbled by Roman Reigns. It's not even going to be a Tripla guy. It's going to be a WWE talent who's signed to WWE, not Tripla. And it is what it is. It's going to happen.
Dev, are you any excited to see Roman Reigns in AAA? Do we have Dev? I don't know if we have Dev right now.
The one time that we need Dev, the only time we've ever needed Dev.
Rest in peace. Put the threes up. But let's move forward and on to we'll stay in Mexico. We'll stay in the luchador realm because last night, man, what a card. That felt like a
Sorry, I'm a little late,
pay-per-view.
but yeah, no, I'm super excited for Roman Reigns and Mr. Iguana.
Albino Dan.
But we gotta build to it though first, right? We need to get Jey Uso versus Mr. Iguana. Maybe you do 2 out of 3.
Get him out of here.
You get Mr. Iguana eating with Jessica on like his hand.
He killed me at Jey Uso versus Mr. Iguana.
How could there be a worse version of Dev out there than Dev? What is going on?
Oh my god! I'm not gonna lie to you though. Honestly, all jokes aside, I am shocked that they have not somehow booked that Mr. Iguana, Jey Uso, and or teamed them up, or because that's just a marketing, commercial. Just that's a marketer's dream right there, right? So I'm surprised that hasn't happened. But no, last night,
personally, I appreciate the novelty of Roman being in AAA. I think it's cool. I'm ready for Roman to acknowledge Grande Americano.
But you just said it there. Novelty. Why is our world champion? Why is the head of the table doing? Why is he doing novelty stuff? Like, shouldn't this be relegated to like someone who maybe needs the rub?
Austin Theory was right there.
Austin Theory. Yeah, I don't let the Vision go down there and run ramp shot to AAA. Hey, you know what? We just run the tag team titles. We want to take y'all's tag team titles too. I don't know.
If we're sending them to receive their pink slips, because that's what we did with the Wyatt Six.
Yes, you send them down there to because it's easier to fire somebody when they're across country lines, I guess. But no, last night's Grand Slam Mexico, what a fantastic card. So much to get into. We had long pants speedball Mike Bailey. We had a lucha. I thought Kyle Fletcher's mask. I have to find that. I need to find that mask. That was so fucking cool. An amazing performance from Kevin Knight. As the Tuesday show, excuse me, and that's what I'm referring to with Kevin Knight. Mark Davis showed out. Oh my God, Mark Davis is really becoming the most improved here. So Lucy, I want to start with you. Do you have a favorite moment of the night?
I do. But before that, I wanted to just mention something from SummerSlam that I can't believe you all left out. I didn't watch it, as you know, but I was on Twitter while it was happening. So I got the gist of what was going on. And, certain things that people were sure were about to happen. There was certain, obviously, they did happen. I'm surprised none of you mentioned the return of Dean Ambrose.
How could I forget that Dean Ambrose? Yes, shield bomb, shield fist, shield chair, shield lord. No, I'm just kidding.
But all of Twitter told me it was happening.
They all did say, they said, hey, no, this is definitely happening. So I don't know how that.
Right? Yeah. It did happen. Surely they wouldn't lie on the internet.
No, of course not on Beyonce's internet. No. They wouldn't do that. No, favorite moment of the night for you. Oh, that was funny.
I'm gonna go with the new trios champions. Just
really
because of what it could mean, and for what it might mean for Hangman and his character development. I think he's going on a bit of a belt ascension story now, starting with the trios. I'm not saying that multi-man tag or trios belts are worth less than singles, but for Hangman as a singles wrestler, he might end up seeing it that way. He's looking to find a new version of himself, to find fulfillment in other places. He's doing that as a trio. I think then he'll move up to maybe TNT title, then he'll go for the international and that's how. I'm just glad that they're not going to shove him on the back burner for 6 months or so. So yeah, I was very much in favor of Team Fuck Ice winning the trios titles. So made me very happy, and none of them are ugly. I would like to say, that's all. None of them are the ugly. They're all lovely.
Team Fuck Ice. I kind of like that. That's a great
that,
name.
and also just the general appearance of my favorite wrestler in the world, which is Alex Windsor.
Ryan, or go ahead, him.
No, I was just going to say to Lucy's thing, the bit that cracked me up. I still haven't seen the last like 30 minutes of because like JD from New York, it overran. How dare they overrun the show? But
I'm sorry. That's my
when
best John Doe impersonation. He's always angry.
he's always angry. He's like the Hulk. Was when Hangman came out and his little nameplate said that he was worried about
about
because of the sombrero.
And then some loser on Twitter said, "Oh my God, look, he's I'm glad that you pointed that out because oh my God, Cowboy Hangman Adam Page dressed up as a vaquero, which translates to cowboy. Which, by the way, quick history lesson: there is no original English word for cowboy. It started in Mexico. So, like, he wore a sombrero and a poncho. Oh my gosh, he's appropriate. You're acting like he came out there with you're acting like he did what Jeff Jarrett did, is like throwing out tortillas to the crowd or something like that.
This is also
come
the same
on.
Hangman Adam Page that opened the last Arena Mexico Grand Slam with a promo mostly in Spanish. Do you know what I mean? Like, so weird. So weird.
Fish, what did you have a favorite match or moment of the night? Because after I want to get yours because Lucy opened me up because I definitely want to talk about these trios titles, but I want to get your favorite moment really quickly.
The favorite moment, favorite spot of the night. Commander was on the far opposite side of the ring, and he ran across the ropes and dove onto Ciampa and Andrade.
Bro, the height he got,
like he threw himself. Like, I don't care if it's the national title at some point down the road or one of the various other prizes that you can win in AEW. Maybe a $400,000 arbitrary number battle royal match. But Commander, great talent. That was my favorite moment of the night, seeing him fly.
Before we get to Dev and Hannibal's favorite moments, I do want to talk about. I want to see what you guys feel about the trios titles themselves, kind of being hot potatoed a bit. The demand held them all for a week. And I brought this up on No Dirt. Like, what do we do with Ricochet and the demand now? How long is this trios run gonna be for good, bad, and the ugly? Like, are we doing too much hot potatoing with these titles? Ryan, I'll start with you.
I don't think so. When you have the AEW World Championship, the TNT Championship, the TBS Championship, the AEW Women's World Championship, the international title, the national title, the tag titles, the women's tag titles, the trios titles. One of these titles can afford to change hands every week and it not really change the excitement level of anybody in the show. Like, it's not going to devalue anything else. Maybe the individual title. The trios championship itself, I think, is the title that you can afford to hot potato around, mainly because is there really a trios division? The trios division is whoever the three you need to be in that position. The Death Riders can be a trios. The Conglomeration are a trios. The Don Callis family are a trios. The Elite, and insert any other member in there, are a trios. You know what? Young Bucks, get Brandon Cutler and go win a title. We're going to, suck up the Lucy here. But I don't necessarily mind these titles being hot potatoed. At least it's not a more important championship.
Right. At least it's not like the world title. Dev, if you are there, how do you feel about the trios titles kind of quickly changing hands?
Fish is right. These, if you're going to hot potato any title, it should be these ones. These are the fun ones. Keep them fun. It was a fun thing to do for Mexico to really give them a pay-per-view like feel.
Keep it fun.
Eh,
No, I like the way you said that.
Yeah, that's what those titles are, fun.
Okay.
Ricochet and the other two of the Demand members, they can ease their way into the tag division now because that's they're gonna have to start shuffling those older dudes out sooner or later.
We can get these old
And
men out.
Ricochet
Okay.
can, yeah, and Ricochet can get the assist as he, avenues towards singles gold, so that you can get that visual if they are going to be a dominant trio down the road. Ricochet, remember when Ricochet was a threat? He
With
was,
them scissors?
yeah, he used to he used to mean something, y'all.
All right.
Lucy, what do you think about these, the hot potato and the back and forth?
I, first of all, disagree a little bit about the trios not being the world championship, because they are. They are the top trio title, and I love any sort of tag wrestling. So I would put them not on the same level as the men's or women's world title, but very close. However, yeah, you're right. These are a fun title. And for me, I feel like the reason they've done this is because we just found out today that Buddy is fully cleared for an in-ring return. And
Yes, we
having the
did. Yes, we
titles,
did.
yeah, having the titles on these three and him coming back in, I think eventually somehow it's going to end up putting the trios titles maybe back on the Demand, with Buddy being like, oh, hello, Brody. Nice to see you miss me. Some sort of, I should be the third in this trio. Hangman's like, no, I should. And whether it leads to a Brody on a pole match or like them splitting up or whatever, I think that's why they've done this, because Buddy's ready to come back. So I don't mind too much if it gives the trios titles a real storyline, which I think they need.
I definitely think that they definitely need a more of a story. So yeah, Buddy Matthews is officially cleared to return. I can't wait to see what's going to happen. I would love to see him link back up. Give us at least the Hounds of Hell. Him and Brody work so very well together as a team. Or maybe you turn him heel and he's a little jealous and a little angry that, maybe he's feeling a little replaced by Bandito. So there's a lot that you could do, a lot where you can go with this. But I want to go back to Hannibal. Hannibal, tell me, did you have a favorite match or a favorite moment of the night?
Before I do, Fish, I've got this for you. I'm gonna crack this open. Yeah, what did I like? I liked it sounds really cruel, but I liked Speedball Mike Bailey being used as a lawn dart. But
Yes,
Fletcher
definitely.
threw him like
I mean,
he was nothing.
Like, bro, he really put some effort into that throw too. Yeah.
There was Ciampa taking a dick pic. My favorite thing that I've seen from Grand Slam though didn't even happen on television. It is this. Look how
Yeah.
happy they all look. Look at them.
Yeah. I love that. Shout
They
out to
all look
Marina
so
Shafir.
happy, man.
Oh my God, mother! Oh,
Mother. But you know what? It was just fun. Like I know Adam Copeland like messed up the 619.
it's a terrible move, anyways. It's a terrible move,
Right. But I'm not being funny. Like it's CMLL, stuff like that happens.
Yeah.
But the enjoyment. The one thing about the crowd was just how into the whole show from the beginning from the beginning to the end. That crowd was hype. I just talked about how you had the tale of two people, right? In that massive pot for Kevin Owens at the top of SummerSlam, and then the reaction to Brock and Oba at the other end of SummerSlam. Like that crowd at Arena Mexico are just diehard, and I find it really. I was saying this last night in the call. You hear a lot when people are comparing CMLL and Triple R about oh, well, CMLL has all these sellouts because they offer these tickets to people that got package holidays and stuff like that. And I'm not saying that that may not be true, but I can tell you this much. John and Barbara, who are, going to Mexico for the first time, that have never watched wrestling in their lives, are not going to Arena Mexico and cheering like the crowd were cheering last night. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Like that's the thing. Like, you can't tell me that the majority of people that are going to these shows are not diehard fans. It's ridiculous. So yeah, I think it was a very good show. So I haven't watched the main event yet, or the trios, but I'm looking forward to catching up with those. But yeah, it didn't bore me. It was non-stop action pretty much, and some great action as well.
Deb, did you well, no, I think we got Deb's favorite. No, Deb, what was your favorite moment from the night? And I think once again we possibly have lost three-way
He'll find
Deb.
he'll find
He's
us when
gone.
he's around.
Can I give a little shout out to that Ciampa moment when he misunderstood what hard cam meant? I think. I regret
yeah.
that picture. And then he attacked some trousers and just went full on Ric Flair. That did have me laughing. Crazy Ciampa. I didn't know anything about him really before I came into AEW, and he's got my attention. I'll at least give him that.
Yep.
No, I thought that was a pretty I thought it was a pretty funny spot. One of my favorite moments of the night was the Chris Jericho callback. I made a tweet earlier, and I think Chris Jericho's doing exactly what everybody wanted him to do in his last run. He's minimal TV time. He's not overextending himself. Tony isn't overexposing him. Shout out to Advocate for that point. He's doing just right. He's doing just right. So I for one, I'm happy to see Chris Jericho in this spot. Ryan Big Grass pointed out that he's got Judas back too. That probably helps too. Everybody loves to sing along. It's just nice to see them get it right with Chris Jericho, because I would have hated to see Chris Jericho leave AEW. I think he's integral to AEW's DNA. Like, he is much an AEW original as anybody else. I don't care what you can call him ex-WWE. He's an AEW original in my mind. And I'm glad to see them finally get it right with him. It seems like people, the whole time it's been kind of, there's been turbulence with AEW and Jericho as far as like the fans and his booking. People love him, people hate him, people, what I'm saying. It seems like now he's doing exactly what you want him to do. And so I'm very, very happy about that. That was definitely one of my favorite spots. But another thing I wanted to talk about and wanted to get you guys' feelings on, no Tekla, no Swerve. Like, what's going on?
Here's the thing, right? Unfortunately, and that is that it's All In season. We're building up to All In. We're trying to get the storylines over the line, trying to get everything set up. It either means that they're not going to be at All In, which is possible, or that, we've still got 3 weeks of television. We've got 5 more episodes of television before the pay-per-view to set stuff up. And I mean, look, that show went, 2 hours, almost 3 hours last night, and you didn't have Swerve and Tekla. Who are you cutting from that show to give them 10 minutes?
God damn it, you're right. But like, can we not get a promo from Tekla at the very something?
This is the other thing, right? We're hearing a lot.
There was 3 6-man tag matches. You can put women. You don't need that many 6-man tag matches.
That's the CMLL style. They do a lot of multi-man matches.
Tekla's faction can do that though. For at least one of those.
They can't. There's only 2 of them at the moment.
They're in
One
Stardom. Yeah.
So maybe that's the reason. Maybe that's the reason. Maybe I'm talking out the side of my neck here, and it's because
Here's the thing, though, and I know this is going to piss people off, but we've got Collision on Saturday. Now, God forbid they put anything on Collision which might be, important to the rest of the company.
No, Hannibal.
because
It's the B show. It's the B show. Why would they do
you
that?
can't. That's what I'm saying. Like, it would obviously be terrible if they did that. But this is the thing. Like, we had a show the other week that I thought was decent because it was giving us promo time, it was giving us backstage segments, it was giving us stories. It gave us less matches, and then people complain there's not enough matches. So it's like, how do you balance this stuff? And I think Grand Slam itself, it's supposed to be a special show, right? Where you have those moments. We had the return of MJF. He's been away since he lost the belt. So we had one return. Did you also want to see Swerve? Did you also want to see Tekla come out and say, what am I doing at All In? It's all about balance, man. And I think
Right.
you've got to, you can't top load everything. Look at the segment we had last week between Kenny and Will, that promo battle they had, right? Which was the last 15 minutes or whatever of Dynamite last week. It was such a good go home promo to set up the pay-per-view, and it happened almost a month before pay-per-view, and people complained that it was a great segment, but why did they do it then and not nearer the pay-per-view? You can never almost win. You can't please everybody all the time, and I think Tony tries to do that, rightly or wrongly, but I think this is proof that you can try and balance stuff as much as you want. It's never going to be enough for some people. And I'm not having a pop at you there, Jordan. I just mean in general.
No,
right?
I like your point. Yeah. One thing too, I just want to point out really quickly because this was brought to my attention, and I gotta say it. The work rate of AEW and their talent, especially when they go down to Mexico. Hechicero once again has wrestled 4 matches in 4 days across 3 promotions. Fantastic work. So sometimes it's not about making having the best spot or the most glorious spot. It's just about making your spots count. And I think Hechicero has made every single spot of his count. But Ryan, what do you think is going on exactly with Tekla and Swerve right now? Why do you think they're missing?
Well, sometimes when you don't have something immediately important for someone to do, when you take a major championship off of them, it's easier to just not use them for a hot minute, so you're just not wasting them and making them eat multiple losses. What is there for Tekla to do that's important, right? You could create a non-title storyline with someone else, or you're just going to insert her back into the world title picture with Willow and Mercedes? That is something you could do. Be a different match, because we've seen Willow and Mercedes several times already. If you've been watching long enough, right? But I think they're just saving her at that point. Swerve, I'll tell you what, Swerve's going to be in that gauntlet match at All In. If MJF's in that gauntlet match, if MJF is in that gauntlet match, anyone can be in that gauntlet match.
I like that thinking. Yeah, Swerve, that's where we get, matter of fact, a big grandiose kind of return, and Swerve's gonna have some dope gear. Lucy, where do you guess Tekla, shows back up? Where do you guess Swerve shows back up?
Okay, just a couple of points on that. One is that AEW, quite often when a champion takes a loss, they vanish for a little while. They go and lick their wounds or whatever it is. They disappear from TV for a few weeks until they come back sort of fresh. They don't generally bring them straight back on after the loss. So I expected it to happen with Tekla. Also, we've talked on this before about having seasons in wrestling if they have an off season. I'm really, really glad that they don't. But AEW almost seems to have off seasons for wrestlers. They will bench them, for lack of a better word, for a few weeks, even a couple of months, and then bring them back to feel fresh and rested and new. So to me, that's probably what they're doing with Tekla. give her a few weeks off, whether she comes back at All In or they save her for All Out, then, you know, just to let her come back feeling a little bit fresh, because she's coming off a loss. The other one that I was wondering where are they is Kenny Omega. I know there's a whole thing with him in Mexico. Some people have said it's a passport. Some people have said it was because he was AAA. That I don't really know why, but hopefully he's at least on Collision. He's the one that I think should be on some TV show weekly going up to All In. But Swerve, I've no idea.
Do you have a gong in your house?
Me?
Is that
Gong?
do you live right next to Bin Bin? You know what? That was mean. That was very American of me. That was mean. But there is a gong going off.
I'm the nearest to Big Ben, and I don't live that near to Big. It's not that loud. Big Ben's not that loud.
Really quick, do y'all call him Big Ben, or is that just like an American thing?
No, that's the name of the clock.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, Big Ben.
Specifically,
it's
Big
not
Ben
the clock.
Is
It's
the
the
actual
bell.
bell. Yeah.
It's just the bell.
All right, did not. Okay, Big Ben is all right. So what is the clock tower actually called then? Does it have a separate name?
Clockathon.
Never change, Hannibal. I fucking love you. No, I think that's a good point, Lucy, of how
and it's not the Elizabeth Tower, by the way.
the Elizabeth Tower. Thank you. That's a good point. How they do run off and lick their wounds sometimes, and so I think possibly Mr.
Mr. Lucy's brilliant.
This is great. One of our best episodes. Oh, sending the man. I'm breaking. Oh God, that's funny. I mean, technically, yes. Technically, you know, but I live a lot closer to the Grand Canyon than Advocate. I'll put it that way. But no, that is a good point. They go off, they lick their wounds. I hope to see Tekla back, man. Like, she elevated that women's division. She elevated that title to just incredible heights. And I want to see. I want to see that fire again. I want to see her call people dumb bitches again. You know what I mean? I miss that, you know? But no, that's a very good point that AEW does have kind of a system, a way that they do things. So I'm okay with that. But Dev, so we kind of know why Tekla's not around. Dev, why would you say Swerve's not around? Do you think maybe Swerve's showing up in the gauntlet?
I think that's most likely. I would rather he have his own match, you know, his own feud, because I think he should. It makes he I don't know. I think he's like one of your marquee talents, and it'd be more appealing.
I mean, if you ask me, I think he is the marquee talent.
I think so.
I think Swerve is one of the very few guys in AEW who has crossover appeal. And like, yeah, sure, MJF's in Silent Night and 2, in you know, he was in Happy Gilmore, and I'm pretty sure he'll be in Grown Ups 3, which started production today. I saw a set picture, brother, and I already know the plot. So I can figure it out. There was a divorce. I'll just put it to you like that. Yeah, there was a divorce.
I haven't seen the set picture, and I can almost guess the story as well. So
yeah.
I will say, Violent Night 2. Now, I watched Violent Night, and I was like, you know what it is. Violent Night 2 actually looks a lot of fun. So
we're gonna have to talk about that after the show. I didn't know that. You may have to sneak on set, get, you know, throw a shirt out there or something like that. No, but I think Swerve is one of those guys who could really just cross over. So like, I just think it's a shame that he's nowhere to be found. And like, we're 3 weeks out from the show, and sure, we can build something up in 3 weeks, but like, you know,
Jordan, You know what actually upset me? A few months ago, they played this vignette for the Owen. Well, it would signify the first round for the Owen. Swerve and Bandito. Right, and Swerve was coming for Bandito. And Bandito has that Ring of Honor World Championship. Right? That Bandito is the reigning Ring of Honor World Champion for over a year. Right?
Yes.
You could have done something important with that. Like, if you're not going to give give Swerve another lengthy AEW World Title run or run with anything else, you could at least be using him on Ring of Honor. But I digress.
I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. No, 2 years now. He's been holding on to that thing for a while now, man. And so, but overall, I think Grand Slam, fantastic show. No notes, not many notes. It felt like a pay-per-view, and when they do these event specials, these TV specials, they need to feel like pay-per-views. So we have a couple of weeks, we're going to have Rebel Heart, which is going to be for an absolutely fantastic cause. I'm hoping that we get another big production, another big card for that as well. They're in Athens, Georgia. Georgia they love wrestling there, so I imagine the crowd's going to be great. Crowd's going to be hot. But I'm hoping that we get the same kind of big show feel for this Rebel Heart show, and I'm knowing Tony Khan, knowing AEW. And the way they do tribute shows and just kind of, homages, I think they're going to do a great job for that.
I just want to say shout out to Kevin Owens as well for actually making a point about talking about it in the press conference after SummerSlam.
Oh, first off, since we're going to do that, shout out Kevin Owens and shout out the team at TNA for showing love to Rebel and whatnot. And if you haven't, everybody, please, I will tell you, and if you want me to, I will show you. I've donated to ALS, and I will continue to. It's just one of those things, man. It's just one of those things. It just sucks, and it really, really sucks to see a good person in Rebel kind of suffer that. So I think I love to see the acknowledgement. I love that because there's a lot of, this is one of those things that transcends tribalism, transcends company lines. And so shout out to Kevin Owens. Thank you for pointing that out, and definitely shout out to TNA.
Yeah, and I think unless you've experienced it firsthand, which, thankfully a lot of people hopefully haven't done that. I did, unfortunately, do that. But I remember seeing Rebel 6 months ago when she was doing videos where she was talking about, because they were trying to find out what was wrong with her. And
right, I remember that.
She was doing these videos where, she was having some issues talking and stuff like that, but she was still very much Rebel. And then came the announcement of her having been diagnosed with it. And in that short time period, and that's what it's like. Because it's like that. Your life changes almost overnight. You get the diagnosis and you start to see things change very rapidly for most people anyway. It's one of those conditions that is heartbreaking to have to witness, especially in real time, but even the way that she's doing it. But the fact that she's using her platform to try and do good with it and to try and raise awareness is a beautiful thing. And it's funny because we used to do a lot of spaces, right? And there'd be a lot of discussion about what's happening with Britt Baker. Are we going to see Britt Baker again? And everything like that. I didn't think we were going to see Britt Baker again in AEW. I think there is a high chance that we might see her at this Rebel Heart show. I'm not saying necessarily to wrestle, because I don't know what her plans are. I don't know what she wants to do going forward. But because of her relationship with Rebel, I would not be surprised if she does. And look, whether she does or doesn't, it's not going to make me disappointed, because whatever that situation is whatever it is. She's there for her friend now, and whether she's on that show or not, I won't think any any less or more of her
No,
for doing this. Do you know what I mean?
and nobody should, and nobody
No.
should.
No.
Agreed.
But
She's done the she did the ice bucket challenge. If you've all seen
she
that, was
did.
Rebel actually there for that. So, and it's amazing to see how many people have stepped up and done that. Just a reminder that if you are nominated for that, it's not just a challenge to do the ice bucket; it's also a challenge to donate.
To donate,
it's
yes.
the full part of the challenge is you have to do the ice bucket and you have to donate to ALS in some form.
I did it.
Yeah.
I did it the I guess the first time that it was going around, because that's when it was just after we lost my father-in-law to it that became a thing. And yeah, I managed to raise like a few £100 for a charity in the UK, because we don't call, the weird thing is, Lucy, we don't call it ALS.
No,
We call it
it's
we call it motor neurons disease, MND.
Oh,
But it's the same thing, but it's just that we have
just different name.
Yeah.
You know, well, that's going to be. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, if that's, I'm sure that was amazing, like doing that and being able to raise the money. And if anybody wanted the opportunity to do that again, I have been nominated by several people now, you bastards, to do this ice bucket challenge and to donate. And I will be nominating
I've been
people after doing it. Yeah,
I've been thinking about doing it myself as on the behalf of the collective. Because here's the thing, I'll just go ahead and tell you guys, Grumpy and I will be going to the next AEW show here in September. And so I'm legitimately thinking about having him do it, or, my buddy here, because, him and I will be linking up rather soon too. So yeah, maybe that's something. Maybe that's something that we can work out and do, because I would love to do that.
Someone might nominate you. You never know.
You never know. But
what a legend.
He's a great guy, great dude, funny dude, fucking hilarious guy. But to move on, as we're going to close out this episode, it's been a great one. Again, I want to thank every single person who's been watching, everybody who likes, who subscribes, who shares this video, who's been supporting us. A lot of you guys in the comments, again, Andrew, Abel, we got Lou in there. I see, of course, Mr. Lucy, CJ, Advocate as well. We had Big League Leroy, who went on a gimmick change. Shout out to Leroy. I ain't talked to him in a minute. I want to just thank all of you guys for commenting, all of you guys for liking and sharing. We do this for you guys. We are a podcast, a brand for the fans, by the fans. And one of the best ways to support us is hitting that QR code, shopwc.com. Buy you a shirt, buy you a sticker. We've got more merch on the way. Turn, there it is, that great octopus hold logo shirt. It's an octopus doing an octopus hold. Like, come on, who doesn't like that, right? Oh, that is we're trying. There we go.
Oh, well.
But yes, please make sure to hit check out shopwc.com. There it is. There we go. Check out shopwc.com is where you get great merch like that, a great quality merch like that as well. Again, an octopus doing an octopus hold. Who doesn't like that? But we're going to kind of go back a little bit, go back to SummerSlam in one particular moment, one particular spot at the SummerSlam weekend that I kind of really want to focus in on, and that is the Hell in the Cell match between Oba Femi and Brock Lesnar. They're having their match, and these are two monsters going at each other, and we have a point in the match where Brock exposes the canvas. There we go. Brock exposes the canvas. He gives Oba the tombstone on the canvas. Oba kicks out at 2. Some people say 2.5. Some people say 2.999. Whatever. Oba kicks out. About 2-3 seconds goes by. He hulks up. He power bombs Brock Lesnar, not on the exposed canvas, but power bombs him for the 1, 2, 3. I didn't really like it. I didn't really like that spot because I will tell you why, and I want to get you guys' opinion on it. And then I want to, well, first off, no, let me go here. And the reason why I don't like it, right, is because I don't think he sold it properly. In WWE, we have been conditioned to see when the canvas is exposed, when the hard part of the ring is showing, that's a knockout, that's a finisher. They ain't getting up, you know. Not only that, but the tombstone pile driver is one of the more protected finishes in WWE. Now, you could say plenty of people have kicked out, and yes, plenty of people have indeed kicked out of the move. I'm not saying protected in that way. I'm saying protected in a way of, if you do a tombstone at the right spot at the right time, that's it. That's done. You're not coming back. It's the tombstone pile driver, right? Because you don't see many people throwing out pile drivers in their Webertron nowadays. I mean, what, unless you're Kevin Owens, I think he still does a pile driver. But we have been conditioned as wrestling fans to see a spot, to see a move, and like, okay, like that, hey, that's it. I didn't really sit well with me, you know, that he got up and you know, but then the reason why I don't like it, and everybody will compare, or one of the reasons why everybody will compare is like, oh, well, look at AEW. Nick Jackson got up from a 450 splash. You are comparing anime to American cartoons. You are comparing a motorcycle to a bike, to an e-bike. Two different styles. Selling in AEW is not selling in WWE. It's not WWE selling is not New Japan selling. It's not TNA selling. Well, maybe TNA and WWE the same, but we have been conditioned in AEW since day one that, hey, the wrestling's a little bit more faster paced, the moves are a little bit done differently, the selling's done a little bit differently here. I just so when I saw the spot and Oba, you know, getting up so quickly and whatnot, I'm not a big fan of it, especially when, you know, and again, granted, it's happened a long time ago, especially when Triple H can pedigree Booker T and sit there for 23 seconds, drape his arm over him and get the 3 count. You know, so it's like, I don't know. Lucy, I want to go to you because you see it. I've explained it to you. You have a particular peer view. What do you think about the spot? Was it a no sell to you, or is it just okay?
A no sell is if you just got up and pretended it hadn't happened. It's not a no sell. A no sell gets thrown around a lot. If people aren't falling over pretending to be dead at this point, it's a no sell. A no sell was if he acted like the move hadn't even happened, which he didn't. Because I think I watch more AEW, I am conditioned not to see it as such a big deal. It's tempting for me to go, well, of course he bloody no sold it, and what he was meant to win. He was meant to look good. But yeah, WWE doesn't do that so much. I've seen a few people say perhaps he was meant to then hit Brock onto the exposed wood as well. Yeah. But you know, whether he, I mean, isn't like Brock's a pretty old guy, so maybe not. Right. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't. No selling, Lucy, unless they actively almost break kayfabe and act as though it's not a real thing. I think you can pass it off as, oh, the adrenaline was up. You know, people can like lift cars to save people under them if the adrenaline is strong enough. And these are meant to be superhumans. So yeah, if you want Oba Femi to look like the next big deal, you've got to do something. You can't just have him win. You need to have him decisively win. So yeah, it doesn't bother me.
So I'm going to push back a little bit because I made a tweet, and talking about this the other day, like this was a tweet that has got, I'm just looking at it now, 169,000 views, 106 comments, 92 retweets, right? Kind of big for me. And I said, you know, AEW wrestlers never sell. It's an indie promotion. WWE hold my beer. And the reason why is because I don't actually disagree with what you said, Lucy. I think you're right. But the problem is that when that happens, when something like that happens in AEW, Well, that's why why you can't watch AEW. Like, you can't take it seriously. Indie mud show. So that was really my point. Well, you can't pick and choose this stuff because either it's always ridiculous and they should never do it, or it's modern wrestling, man, and this kind of thing will happen. And that's really my beef with it, is that there's too much picking and choosing about what is okay and what isn't. If you see two spots like it, it should be the thing. The other thing about the spot, though, which I don't like, and I'm with Jordan on that, is we have been conditioned that, you expose the canvas, and it's the hardest. It's the hardest part of the ring. You're gonna, that is how you end a match in a blood feud. DIY would do it to each other, that kind of thing. So when that happens, you're kind of expecting it to be the end of the match, right? And then somebody pointed out that, because I hadn't seen a match in a long time, Undertaker did the same thing with Brock Lesnar, and Brock Lesnar did the same thing he kicked out too. And my reply to that was, okay, it was stupid both times to do that spot. Because it was like, I didn't, I can not like the spot twice. At the end of the day, I think I was more critical of it because that's how people compare things. And I'm just like, call a spade a spade. If you're going to be true about everything, call a spade a spade. And that's what I don't like about it. But I think the spot itself is stupid. Do I think Nick Jackson taking a 450 and immediately standing up is therefore a good spot? No. And that's like asking me, if I like pancakes, does that mean I hate waffles? No, that's a different
No,
conversation.
yeah, bean soup
Right.
theory, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like, I'm not saying that they shouldn't do these things at all, or that it's more like, if we're gonna just judge wrestling for what it is, just be fucking consistent. Just be consistent.
I'll argue back a little bit about that and just say that, yeah,
Please.
you're judging wrestling as what it is, but it's different. From what I'm hearing, it's different in both companies. That's like saying, oh, well, you can't complain that AEW only had one women's match because last week WWE only had none. Well, they're totally different. They work in completely different ways. You judge AEW by AEW, WWE by WWE. So if it is the case of the kick out was something that went against what WWE would normally do, then I think that's a valid argument against it. However, my main problem with that was there's more things to complain about. The fact that they were in a cell.
Oh my God.
That was
And
mean. They no-sold a cell more than they no-sold.
They no-sold a cell more than any move in the match. That is
my biggest
AEW doesn't do that.
My biggest issue with that as well, other than the fact they obviously didn't use the Hell in the Cell part of it, was I was just thinking to myself, how much money did you just waste by doing that? Right? Because like, sending the Hell in the Cell to a location costs money. It's not just time, it's also like the cost of traveling it there. So they paid all this money to stick a cell there. They use it as a promotional tool to, like, you're going to see a Hell in a Cell match. No, we barely saw a hardcore match that happened to be in a cage. And Lucy, because you've seen this in real life. Seeing a match like that sucks, right? In real life, because your view's obscure. It doesn't matter where you are. Your view is obviously obscured because of the nature of a cage. So what did they waste everyone's view for? No reason at all. Waste of everyone's time for having that as a Hell in a Cell.
Ryan, what's your view on it? And then Dev, I know you definitely feel away.
So I want to push back on this, that we've been conditioned to see the mat pulled up and someone slammed headfirst into the wood planks of the ring. We've never seen a match ended in WWE on the main roster in main WWE continuity ended that way, as far as I'm aware. As far as my memory goes, if it happened, I just so happened to see the show. And if it happened, it only happened once. The most important time that it happened, or this spot had happened, was Undertaker Brock Hell in a Cell 2, I think, many years later. or earlier than this, right? And Taker didn't win when he did the spot then. It was just like an oh shit spot, you know? So we've not been properly conditioned within the WWE atmosphere that would end the match. It should, by all context, you know? You're told that the apron is the hardest part of the ring all the time. So, in theory, yeah, maybe, but I just don't see it. The spot itself was fun. It was a nice callback if you've been watching Brock a while, but it just reminded me of every other little nostalgia spot that we've had to do between John Cena and his retirement tour. And, well, John Cena and his match with AJ Styles, right? Like, hey, remember Undertaker versus Brock in Hell in a Cell? Right? That's what it felt like. But in terms of selling and no selling, this is an industry issue. WWE is its own genre. AEW is its own genre. AEW is more lucha, more traditional, not necessarily traditional wrestling in a sense, right? But you get strong style lucha, Southern style, Jim Crockett-esque tag team wrestling, all that, right? You get a little bit of everything in AEW, and WWE only does the WWE style anymore, right? Don't judge AEW by WWE standard. Don't judge WWE by AEW standard, right? They're both their own respective art forms. You know, you're not going to sit and, I don't know, arbitrary artist here, not going to judge Rihanna to the standard of Motorhead, right?
Yeah, that's okay. Okay.
I would like to see that mashup.
It is what it is. And you know what? Maybe Rihanna comes out and sings "It's Time to Play the Game." You know, it'd be a fun little ordeal. Ultimately, the spot was fine for me. It is what it is. I do think the match probably ended in a botch because it looked like Brock looked over towards those boards as he got powerbombed. I'm like, why was that so soft? Right? And it is what it is. It still puts over Oba at the end of the day. He kicked out of a tombstone pile driver, and he is retired Brock Lesnar.
Advocate's right. Umbrella clears.
Dev, how are you feeling on the spot? You know, because I know me and you talked about it earlier this week.
I would firmly agree with Lucy. I think there were much bigger things to complain about in that match besides the spot, especially because I found the spot itself to be fine. It was a fight, two guys fighting, trying to hurt each other as much as possible. It was the, arguably redundant storytelling of Oba trying to conquer the beast. Brock Lesnar, he's a big deal. He still posed as something super dangerous. And I think they were selling it, as a fight that didn't need that sell. So that was the bigger thing. That's like the real issue with it. But I don't consider what they did no selling. But I think the two companies between AEW and WWE have their own tropes around selling, but I think selling is still selling at the end of the day. I don't think it differs across wrestling promotions. I think selling is selling, but companies just kind of have different tropes to how it's executed.
So if we're if both companies are kind of operate a little differently and things like that, and I just, does selling make or break for you?
No.
because I saw a lot of people say like, "Oh my god, just it didn't kill the match for me." Like it's something where I was like, "Oh, I didn't really like that," but like it didn't make Oba look any less to me.
The only thing I didn't like about it really is the fact that after Oba had taken so much punishment from Brock and then taken the tombstone pole driver, it literally took that one not great power bomb from him to win. Like, I know in some ways that should make him appear more dominant. It didn't for me, and I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure why. I don't have anything against Oba at all. Like, I do like Oba, but yeah, I don't know. I think I would have liked a stronger finish from him. Maybe, a second one would have been more prolific.
I would have liked, maybe a second Powerball, maybe, something like that. Like really put this monster away. Like, you're retiring him. Really, really put him away. But my boy Andrew pointed out, advocates pointed out, maybe that's the point, to show just how strong and tough and scary and how much of a monster Oba really is that he didn't need to do 7 power bombs the way it took 7 F5s. It took one at the right place at the right time for him, perfectly executed.
You're comparing it to actual finishes in WWE that should put someone down in one move, but they never seem to do it. Cody Rhodes. When was the last time you saw Cody Rhodes win a match with a single crossroads? On pay-per-view.
I can't.
That's the asterisk. On pay-per-view.
It could also be a case in saying that Brock has deteriorated throughout his career, kind of like how Cena was worn down by the very last match.
That's
why it takes one power bomb.
Have we gotten maybe too spoiled by the one finish, one finisher, count? Like am I spoiled for getting used to the one winged angel, being okay, that's it, we're done? Am I spoiled for, a JMLL drive, whatever Swerve's thing is called, whatever he calls it, or the house call being a finish? Like,
I think different finishers should give you different feelings, should make you feel different things.
When you look at it from a video game standpoint, okay, a wrestler has certain stats.
I've got a surprise for you guys.
This. I like where this is going.
And not all.
I've got a surprise.
Hello.
This has got to be, first of all, hello to everybody.
Hello, Andrew. Hello.
You guys realize that you're proving, right, besides Lucy, because I heard Lucy's point of view, and she's right, always right. But you're proving WWE's point over and over and over again. It's 5 days later, and you guys are still fucking talking about this. Right? I mean,
yeah.
what are you doing here? Right? If it sucked, it would just be like, yeah, whatever. This is a sticking talking point because of what happened. And I think to continue to just be like, everyone's entitled to their opinion. But also, maybe this was Taker giving Oba the nod. And he can't physically. Did anybody ever think of that?
Why?
Because he did do the cross. Well, because
no. Because
who does the tombstone pile driver on WWE? Nobody does. You don't think Brock cleared that with Taker?
Oh no, undoubtedly. But also, as was pointed out, the spot was exactly the same as when Taker did it to Brock. So if anything, I don't think it was Undertaker trying to put Oba over in any kind of way. I think it was more Brock doing the kind of like passing of, or the homage to his match with Taker when that torch was passed to him.
But what more could Brock Lesnar do to the Oba Femi character than have him look like somebody you can't kill? And that's what he did. I mean, Brock already had the surprise. Holy shit, Oba got me, caught me, beat me quick at WrestleMania. Then Brock beat the shit out of him, took 7 or 8 F5s, and then all of a sudden at this, the Hell in the Cell was not needed. I'm in full agreement there. I left that building thinking to myself, there is no reason for that Hell in the Cell. None. With the match we got. You guys and girls are 100% right. But I think this was a way that Brock solidified Oba Femi even further. Brock could have picked anybody. He didn't pick Braun Breaker. He picked Oba Femi.
All right, so Drew, I'm going to ask you a question
Sure.
that I've, just because of who you are.
I'm a
We
nobody,
had-
but go ahead. I'm just kidding.
You're worthy of this question.
Go ahead.
So we saw at WrestleMania the first Brock Oba match, right? In a performance where Oba was, I think, very dominant. And then we saw at the end of that match, which I think took some shine off of it, was Brock leaving his boots in the ring. Why did we decide that was the route to take if there was another 2 matches on the table, potentially?
I think it's twofold, right? I think Brock was, remember, that was the first time on ESPN. And I think Jordan and Juice both asked me this a couple weeks or a week right after WrestleMania happened. I think that's WWE and Brock Lesnar conditioning an audience to something that they had never seen before. Because there's a lot of people who be like, what does this symbolize? What is this? Okay, a wrestler took off his boots and gloves. Oh shit, is he retiring? And the announcers did a good job of like kind of honing in on that. I also think that in that moment, and I don't know this because I don't speak to Brock directly, I think Brock maybe felt that this is as good as it's going to get. And I know my contract goes until, the end of 2027. But I think this is as good as it's going to get. And then maybe they convinced him to come back for a little bit more.
But I get that.
And money, listen, with Brock, money will always talk. Do I believe Brock's going into the Hall of Fame in Saudi Arabia? Yes, I do. Could Brock wrestle at WrestleMania 43? Yes, I do. If he's going to be paid handsomely.
Yeah, my pushback was going to be, well, AJ Styles did the same thing, except actually he didn't, because he stopped halfway through, didn't he, when he was taking off his gear at the Royal Rumble. But again, I guess my point is, if your intention was to make Oba, look that good, I feel that what they did at Mania was a much better way of doing it than what they did at SummerSlam. Even the layout of the match, I think, was more in Oba's favor. Because the thing is, with this, I'll be honest, it felt like a fluky win.
I know you watched No Dirt, Just Dialogue, right?
I didn't didn't get to see it today.
No, but you do watch it.
Yeah.
And I'm not the type of guy to put it out on X because everybody could see it. If you want to hear something that I believe is newsworthy or whatever, or I'll break news, that's where it'll be. And I've stated a million times, Roman's opponent at SummerSlam was very telling, and so was Oba's. They could have easily pushed Roman and Oba into that SummerSlam match where Oba wins the championship. They didn't. Why? Because a certain bald, tattooed Samoan is probably going to wrestle at WrestleMania. That's why. SummerSlam really is the first card to be shown about The Rock and his potential involvement in WrestleMania. That's all it is. And you'll see Roman drop the title at the Royal Rumble. And then all cards are on the table. Everyone's all in on a Rock Roman match.
I like that idea. I mean, I see where you're coming from, Andrew.
Rock could have been done, dude. Hannibal, I agree with you. That could have been it. And Rock is like, hey, I want to do this. And then you saw a surprise Brock Lesnar return. The Clash in Italy, PLE, and ticket sales needed a boost. And here we are. And now we're back at SummerSlam. And do I think the match was necessary? No. Did they need 3? No. Did they need a Hell in the Cell? No. But what are you doing with Oba Femi at SummerSlam?
It's a good, you got to do something with them, especially when you're putting the Rock, because Oba will be champion before the year's over. Personally,
I think Oba's champion in January because the Rock Roman match is not going to be for the title.
I'm thinking November, but January probably seems more apropos. I think that's when that's Rumble season.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Start off,
yeah,
yeah.
Well,
yeah.
they're already now cooking that Braun Breaker is going to be Oba's foil for a good chunk of the foreseeable future. So
I said he's going to
Well,
win Money in the Bank. So
I was just
I have
about
a
to
funny
say, I
feeling
think,
that's like they're going to cross paths eventually. Oba will get his big moment and win the world championship. And then you have Braun Breaker looming and looming and looming. And it works, right? Because they're the two new faces of that generation, quote unquote. So it works. But again, we're talking about this Brock Oba match for two reasons. And it's 5 days later. One, because of the spot, and everyone was like, holy shit, I can't believe he kicked out. Well, that makes him a monster. Two is the other big reason, right? Brock retired. So there you
yeah,
go.
yeah. So let me ask you this, and once again, thank you, Andrew, for
Sure.
hopping
My
on.
phone's going to
Always
die,
lovely.
so I
Yeah.
won't take up any more of your time. Go ahead.
No. I was just going to ask you. So, how do you feel about like the no selling or the complaints about no selling across the
I think it's
street?
bullshit. I think it's bullshit in both companies, truthfully. Like it's a match. If I'm entertained, I'm entertained. Do I want to see 57 Falcon Arrows or Crossroads? No, I don't. But if it makes me be like, holy shit! Like look at Swerve and Will. I didn't care how many finishes was in that match or how many they kicked out of. It was a great match. We're overdoing it, you know. If WWE did this on the regular, then it's like, oh, okay, well, that's just going to happen. That's why y'all are talking about it, and myself included, because it doesn't normally happen in WWE. But if the match dictates it, I don't care. I think it's overblown, truthfully, right? This is entertainment. It's David versus Goliath sometimes. You need 7 rocks. You need 7 finishes. It doesn't bother me in the least. It really doesn't.
Well, that just enjoy it. That's a good way to put it. If it's enjoyable to me, then it's enjoyable to me, and that's what matters the most.
If it's protected, I see your guys and girls' point. Like if it's so protected, then okay. I don't. I'm sure you guys know better than I do. There's certain moves that people don't kick out of.
The
But I
One
think
Winged Angel and the End of
Right.
Days from Baron Corbin.
that's disgusting. I love Baron, but that's disgusting that his name is in that. But
No
okay.
one has ever.
Yes.
I don't. Correct me if I don't think anybody has ever kicked out of End of Days yet.
God bless him. All right. Well, again, I think much ado about nothing, but we're still. And it's not just you guys. It's
Drew
everybody.
Oh,
McIntyre kicked
no,
out of the
Drew.
end of
Drew.
days.
Yeah, I'm
There you
tripping.
go.
Drew's the only one.
We're
Yeah.
all still talking about the Brock Lesnar tombstone on the exposed wood that Oba Femi kicked out of, which means, in my opinion, I know Hannibal will disagree, and I love him, but that is the reason they did it.
No, but you know what, Drew? To your point, man. Like that's a good thing, right?
Sure.
Because
There's no other story in that match. I mean, I'm not going to sit and tell you the match sucked, but for a Hell in a Cell, there was nothing in it.
no. But you know what? Wrestling's about moments, especially over that side of the road, and it's a moment, right?
Yeah. Yep.
It
WWE's
is.
all about moments. They always have been. AEW is the opposite. They have moments, but it's not their focal point.
It's a
All
good
right, guys.
point. I'm gonna let you
See ya.
go. Appreciate
Yep.
you.
Yep. Bye-bye.
That was
Glad
Andrew
he's gone.
Magbala.
Jesus Christ.
Always gotta appreciate the Andrew Rub when he's able to come by. A great friend of the collective, a great friend of mine and yours, Hannibal. This has been. It's. I love we
Hang on.
push the conversation forward. That's the whole purpose of what we do here at the WrestleCollective is to add a little bit of nuance, to add a little bit of critical thinking to the conversation. I think that's definitely something that we at least aim to do, and I think we did pretty well today, guys. Fish, you look like you got something on your mind.
I was going to finish my point
Please.
before Andrew came in. If you compare this to like a wrestling video game, 2 wrestlers will have 2 different sets of stats. Roman Reigns, 95, 98, 99, wherever the stat threshold for 2K is currently, right? Baron Corbin would be a 78, right? Just throwing it out there. 2 different moves. Some moves are going to be more protected than others simply because of who they're associated with.
In kayfabe, the one-winged angel would be like the special beam cannon, right? Because it always kills. Right, he has a 100% success rate.
You're thinking of
And the
you're
crossroads
thinking
would
of
be like
you're thinking of the
wait, wait,
death
wait.
beam. You're thinking of Freeze's death beam.
Or a destructo disc. Maybe the one we
There it is.
eventually is a
Destructo disc
destructo disc.
most of the time always hits. Most of yeah.
And the crossroads is the Kamehameha.
The
I'm in my
crossroads is a
40s. I don't know what this means.
the crossroads is a Hadouken. You know what I mean? You could just spam that. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you know.
You're right. It's a sonic boom. You're right.
No, Fish, that is a great point when you put it to the video game aspects, because it's like, it's the association, right? It's the mystique around the character. Like, no one else does the one-winged angel like Kenny Omega, right?
Also, one more thing, right?
Please.
As my favorite cartoon uncle would once said. Anyways, the DDT used to be one of the most protected finishes in wrestling. When was the last time you saw a match ended with just a DDT? How often do you see a DDT in a match? Right?
How often does Jake the Snake do it?
Like, Raven used to do it as well, or in his the Even Flow DDT. Sting's reverse DDT, which is now done by Darby Allin, the Scorpion Death Drop. Basically, not everything is going to be special forever. Sometimes a move will eventually become a transitional piece, or something that builds into something. The tombstone is not Okada's finish, but it is intrinsically connected to Okada. It sets up the Rainmaker.
Yeah.
That again, that Fish, that's why I'm glad we had you on this week, because I knew you were going to have some, again, pushing the conversation forward. Like, it's a lot more than just a move, than just taking a move sometimes, right? And that's, again, I love that Andrew's kind of come on and put some levity in it. And, hey, look, if you enjoyed it, and take you out of the match, you know, and, hey, the spot was there for a reason. We're still talking about it, right? So, but I will say overall, honestly, I think Lucy probably had the best point of the night in saying that there was no. Well, she said that they no-sold the Hell in a Cell more than anything else, and I think that right there is the best point that any of us could have made, because you put these guys in a Hell in a Cell and did absolutely nothing, you know. But man, we've ran a little long, but it's okay. We appreciate everybody. I want to thank Andrew for stopping by, saying hello. Lucy, tell us a little bit about Critical Hit Wrestling, if I can talk. Good God.
Okay, well, I would like to give an example, because I can't talk anymore about a kick out of a tombstone pile driver, or I'm going to jump off my own roof. So what I want to do instead is just a quick, maybe 20 seconds, and I'm going to show you some of the things that we're doing over on Critical Hit Wrestling, me and Alyssa, and maybe a little cameo from these boys. This is a little game I want to play with you. Just very quickly before we go, we've made it a short over on Critical Hit. We're playing Put a Finger Down Wrestling edition. So, fingers up, boys. Are you ready?
I love this. Let's do it.
All right. This is competitive, okay? Play in the comments. If you're watching, whether it's live or whether you're watching this on a replay, let us know in the comments, okay? Put a finger down if you have ever been to a WWE live event. Put a finger down if you have ever been to an AEW live event. Put a finger down if you've ever been to an independent wrestling event. Put a finger down if you've ever traveled out of the country to a wrestling show.
No, I haven't done that yet.
Put a finger down if you own a toy or a replica belt. Some of us own 3. Put a finger down if you have ever dressed up as a wrestler. Put a finger down if you've ever met a wrestler. Put a finger down if you've ever used a wrestling move in real life.
Duh.
Right? Put a finger down if you've ever named a pet after a wrestler. And finally, put a finger down if you've ever worked as a wrestler.
No, can't say.
No,
Can't say
I
I
end
have.
up with 3. So
I got 4
who?
left. Oh, I got 4 left.
2. Hannibal. We have a champion. Okay.
Wow.
Congratulations, Hannibal. Well done. Which 2 did you not do?
I've never been a wrestler, but I got as close as being a ring announcer, and haven't travelled to an international show. I had to really think about that as well.
I didn't
I really haven't, but no. Oh,
yeah, Scotland
hang
doesn't
on,
count.
hang on. I was going to say, because I have been to Wales.
No, because I live 20 minutes away from Scotland. That does not count. I do own 3 replica title belts, 3 different versions of this beauty. So
y'all are gonna call me fed pilled because yes, I have the big giant scratch WWE, the current WWE title that like Cody and
Big logo.
yeah. I got that one. It's I got and I also have the only wrestling figure I have a Eddie Guerrero wrestling figure, and I got that at a garage sale, and it was like a couple of years, after Eddie had died. I was going through kind of a real rough patch of my life, and who is that?
Deborah.
I have so many figures, and none of them are that horrifying.
Yeah.
Go away, please. Are we comparing? Are we having a belt off, Ryan? Like, come on,
Are we having a belt off?
Let's see.
That is
I
a
bought
bit
this
of
instead of an oven. Okay, instead of a working oven. At all in 2023. Bad choices. Actually, excellent choices. I've never regretted it for a second.
I know how much that was at all in as well, and
850 quid. Wow.
Well, you can find fun stuff like that all the time on Critical Hit Wrestling. Again, we want to thank Lucy for letting us play that. That was fun. That was really, really fun. Definitely go like, subscribe, go hit that notification bell over there. The same way you would like, subscribe, hit the notification bell here. Again, Lucy she's collective, guys. So if you love us, you love her. And if you love her, hopefully maybe you love us.
Yeah, I don't think it's mutually exclusive that way around.
Yeah,
it's definitely the first way around. Yeah.
But if you really love us, buy a shirt.
ShopDubC.com. That is one of the best ways to support us. Every single Monday, you will see these 2 beautiful gentlemen on Wrestling with Tism with their third co-pilot, Mr. James Hebert. Wrestling with Tism, I love it. Again, it's a wrestling based show, but it's not wrestling centered, and that is really, really great. They talk about everything. It's just really, really great show. So if you want to just have fun, something to put on in the background while you're working out, on your commute to work or your commute home from work, rather, it's a great, great podcast to listen to. And then, of course, every other Sunday, we have this guy here with the nice curly fro, Dev, on Queens Road. It is the other one.
Oh, sorry about that.
Dev, who talks all things women's wrestling, and they've got an episode this week on the 9th. So please, the only way you're going to know when they go live is when you hit that notification bell. So if you want to check out this week's Queens Road, make sure to hit that notification bell when you know when we go live. Lucy, are you doing anything? Are you on anything this week? I believe you're on Queens Road this week. So yeah, so you're getting a double dose of Lucy this week for the Collective. The Collective loves Lucy. That's a shirt idea. Sorry. Because the I Love Lucy font, we can do the Collective loves. You see what I'm saying? All right. Anyway, sorry. So definitely check out Queens Road this coming Sunday. It is going to be a great one. Again, we are here live every Thursday, WrestleCollective Weekly. I think that's it. So we want to thank Andrew Maydala for stopping in. So for Hannibal, for Ryan, for Deb, and for Miss Lovely Lucy, that'll do it for us here at the Collective. We will see you next week.
Thank you guys so much for stopping by. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, this is the Wrestle Collective.